Hello guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Dickson Ihanga. Continue to subscribe and get more information regarding to Devil 3 2024. Remember guys, last time we discussed on what to do after you have successfully applied for Devil 3 2024. Remember guys, we discussed many things. Number one, passport. I deeply talked on the reason as to why you need to look for the passport as early as possible. This is because if you win and you don't have passport yet, it will take you out of time looking for a passport as well as looking for some amount which will facilitate you to do all other plans as well as the arrangements or other processes of going to United States. So looking at the passport is very important. Remember also, if you applied as a couple or as a couple, you need to look at the passport for the whole family. If you have a spouse, yourself, and also your children, very important. Another thing guys I talked of is the issue with marriage certificate. Remember guys, marriage certificate is very important if you applied as a couple. This is because when you applied as a couple, and during embassy interview when you win, they are going to need your marriage certificate as a supporting document. Also, looking it as early as possible will save your time. Remember, immediately after you win, you are required to look for money. So money is another issue. So at least when you have those documents, it will be much easier than looking all the same together. Looking for passports, marriage certificates, other academic credentials, children documents such as birth certificate and other things. So it's better, the earlier you look, the better you are. Another thing, also, remember if you applied, remember there was a section where you apply the highest level of education. If you applied as a Form 4 or as a vocation with experience, 2 year experience, or a graduate, you need to have those documents at hand. So, today, I want to discuss on what you need to do immediately after you win the green card. After winning Devil 3 2024, you need to do the following. You would fill DS-260. That's an immigrant diversity visa online. Number 2, you start looking for the host. The host is the person who is one to help you, to accommodate or to receive you and accommodate you while you are looking for the way of survival, while you are planning to look for something to do. So it's very important. Another thing, as I talked of earlier, look for necessary documents such as necessary documents and also supporting documents. Another thing, if you apply as a couple, please plan on the number of family members whom are going to accompany you. You are not limited to the number of whom you are going to with. You can go for yourself, or you can go as a family. I want to briefly talk about DS-260. This is an immigrant visa electronic application that you need to fill online. Remember when you need to fill this form, You are going to be required to fill all details concerning you. Remember, there's something I've forgotten. If you are bred as single, you don't really need to look for marriage certificate. You only need to look other documents that will be required. And also when you key in the information on DS260, you also feel that you're for yourself. Another thing that is very important thing to mind you, if you applied as a single, that's now application, the first visa application, difficulty during application, stick to that you are single. Remember that will disqualify you if you say that you are married after you win this. You take it as a lie. If you say that you are married, just say that you are married. You provide the document that shows that. Another thing you want to fill in DS260 is the host. So you need to look for host, because host is very important. You are going to the United States for the first time, so host is very important. Another thing, you need to know the state of your host. May it be Kentucky, Ohio, New York, Michigan, or another state. You need also to include it. And also the details of your host. I want to briefly talk about the host. Here is the details that your host needs to give you. Number one, he or she should give you a bank statement. Bank statement is a document which shows the financial health. Remember, this is the person who is going to host you. He will be responsible for everything, including your health status, your primary food, your primary commodities that you will require, and all another thing. He or she is also the one to facilitate you or to give you anything that you required. Because after arriving there are some processes also you need to do. For example, looking for social security and other things. So, before I want to another point, it's not a must to get an host in order to go to United States. If you miss or you fail to get an host, you can look for this best option. You can look for money. You go there and facilitate for yourself. You can rent until, or you can rent for a few days or a few weeks, at least while you are looking for survival. So that's another good option. Another thing that host needs to give you, your host needs to give you an address. His or her home address. Remember, all these requirements are needed by the embassy to know, and this is because they want to know where you are going to you are going to be safe and you are going to be harmless. Another point, and this, take note of this. I want to talk about marriage. Guys, for those who are listening, you need to be clear on this. Why you're feeling or doing this, as well as your processes are underway. If you said you are married, have a document showing that you are married, legally married, not affidavit. Remember, there are those who look for the option that, we will use, we go to advocate, we write or we sign down an affidavit showing that you are married. No, embassy only requires certificates. Another thing, if you are said you are not married, stick to you are not married. You are finished Form 4, you are finished Form 4. That's all that. Don't try. Remember, the embassy have all details, have all anything that is concerning about you. And remember, what you filled in DS260, or what you will fill in DS260, that's what you will stick to. Never contradict yourself, because they will be using the same while interviewing you. Another important thing, remember, after you have won this green card, what you need to do, you need to look for substantial finance. You need to look for that, because you must facilitate yourself. The embassy is not going to facilitate for you. So it will require you to finance yourself. The amount you have to look for depends the number of ads that you are processing or you are going to the United States with. If you are as a family with children, the same amount you will be required to use and process for yourself applies to each and every number in your family. So be aware of that. Also, you are not limited to the number that you're going to go there with. You can apply for yourself to go there while looking for some amounts and facilitate the others to process and come. Hope that is self-explanatory and it's clear. Another thing, you need to arrange all required documents to go with during interview. Very important. Let me briefly talk about interview. That's now embassy interview. Here are important tips that you need to know. When you go, or before you go to interview, you need to be familiar with the location of the embassy, because you don't need to wait up to the last minute so that you go to an embassy to do an interview. This is because you might be confusing yourself, asking or looking for embassy until you are late. It's very important to arrive to an interview as early as possible. This is because arriving late at interview will be seen as a way of misconduct. So, be familiar with the location and arrive as early as possible to an interview. You can arrive, in fact, you can arrive in an interview earlier, even before the time indicated. Secondly, when you go to an interview, make sure you don't forget anything, any document back. This is because if you forget any of the documents, you might be disqualified. They might say that maybe you are lying to them. You are not truthful. So make sure you arrange your documents correctly. I've been saying it is orthodox document plus supporting documents. Briefly, I talk of supporting documents. Supporting documents are very important. If you are saying you are married, you show your marriage certificate. If you say that you are finished form 4 certificate, that's showing your qualification and all that. I wish you all the best and good luck. I ask you to continue following my YouTube channel so that you get more information regarding to difficulty, so that you be familiar, and when you are praying for the same, you do it successfully without wasting of time. I wish you all the best as you are waiting for the results of 2024 difficulty, and I hope that God will enable you to succeed and you will achieve your dreams. Thank you.